Yeah, we bounce back, bounce back. Red ain't hit, but we on track. Shots go down and snap right back. Bad try bite, but we bite back. Bounce back, bounce back. Whole squad lit in the back still stack. Red tie hit, but we don't react. Bear market blues, we don't know that. I been sliding through the dips like a jet ski. Portfolio down, but I'm still feeling sexy. Candles looking red, but the future looking green. Every lesson made me clean. Yeah, phone buzz, bro, you okay? Yeah, I'm good, man, I'm built for the fate. Market try shake me, not today. I just ride through the storm like a sunny parade. Money moves slow, then it shoot like a comet. Bear try bark, but we don't even comment. Vibes too high, can't kill our moment. Red on the screen, but the drip still flawless. Back, bounce back. Red ain't hit, but we on track. Shots go down and snap right back. Bear try bite, but we bite back. Bounce back, bounce back. Whole squad lit in the back still stack. Red tie hit, but we don't react. Bear market blues, we don't know that. Pull up a receipt, no excuses. Red ain't hit, I don't cry, I just juice it. Market on tilt, but the squad still ruthless. Going through hell, but the fit still stupid. Leverage now, I ain't going that route. Seen too many rookies get laid out. Best win first, cool, I'ma fade out. Then I pop back up like a fake out, yeah. Bounce back, bounce back. Red ain't hit, but we on track. Back, bounce back, bounce back. Yeah, the bed don't know we built like that. Bounce back.
Welcome to Lunar Beaches Crypto, where we ride the waves of the crypto market all the way to the moon. Or to the dirt. What's going on, everybody? How you doing? Thank you all for being here. It is Sunday, November 16th, 2025 at 9:03 p.m. Central Standard Time. Shout out to you guys. Hope you all had an amazing, beautiful, wonderful, radical weekend. I had a very quiet weekend. Didn't have most of the children, just had the newborn Friday night, most of Saturday. And we just been chilling, Not really doing a whole lot this weekend as we prepare for some pretty busy weeks ahead. So just wanted to get a little bit of a rest. Touch some grass. Why are we spinning? Man, I really want some Bubba Gump shrimp now. Oh, Wick. Let's not go there. We are riding the meteorite to the center of the earth. There you go, Nick Dunn. All right, guys. How's it going? Are we doing good? Is the stream okay? Let me know. Let me know. All good for me? Okay, cool. All right, guys. So good. Let's go ahead and say good evening to everybody before we get into these here charts that are looking a little bit troubling. But we do have some key areas. We'll see what Bitcoin needs to do in order to get back on the bull train. But right now, we're still bearish. But we'll get into that. Thank you all for being here. Let's go ahead and say good evening to chat. What's going on, everybody? What's going on? Duality C, not of this world. Thank you for being here, Duality. I do appreciate you, my friend. Chris Klein, what's going on? Good evening. Alexandra G, Mod Boss, Mod Queen, Mod God. Thank you for pinning that Discord link in the chat and joining us as always. We do greatly appreciate you. We've got Floki's Angels. What's going on, Floki's Angels? Thank you for being here. I don't know if your name is another name or not. We still got the ats. For some reason. Not really sure what's up with that. What's going on, Harp? I see your Eagles are doing some damage, but last I checked, good for you guys, I guess. Nick Dunn. LFG, let's go. Thank you for being here. Maybe a bandage. What's going on? Oh no, I'm just tired. Oh yeah, there we go. Stream's good. Okay, cool. LBC, what's going on? 2Dub, Wix Wife, Fine 89. Thank you for being here. 2Dub, I do greatly appreciate you. Chadwick, the Wick 589. How you doing? BTC needs oxygen. Yeah, we're doing good. Indeed, indeed. What's going on, guys? Mark Dutch. B Eyes BS. Not really sure what that's supposed to mean, but thank you for being here, Mark Dutch, and being you. Thank you for being you, as always. Guys, quick announcement. Quick announcement. We got them in. We got them in. Oh, what's that? Oh, let me just pull that. Oh. What's that? LBC stickers. Yeah, LBC stickers. Look at that. We got some logo stickers. We got a whole bunch of them things. Got a whole fat stack. A whole fat stack of some LBC stickers. Let me know if you want some in the Discord. Thank you all for being here. Now, I wanted it to be just the logo. So just so you know, it's not just the logo. It is a white background. And yeah, next time I'll go through someone else to get what I really want. But I still think that's pretty cool. Still pretty cool. Thank you guys. I do appreciate you for telling me that you wanted these. So there you go. Hope you like. All right. What's going on with the old here Bitcoin? Let's take a look. Bam. We're on the weekly chart. Let's close this real quick. Looking here at the weekly chart, I've got here in the gray the weekly fair value gap with a weekly order block down here. Actually, let me go to my Bybit chart so I can show you guys all these levels. All right, so let's zoom in a little bit. Let's go to the 1 hour. There we go. So I've got all these levels here down below us, going all the way down to 85,290. That's a daily fair value gap low, right around the 786. We have a weekly fair value gap low right there at 86.4-ish. At 87 is that daily fair value gap high. Then we got another daily fair value gap right here. And we have a lot of confluence right here for between a bear flag, measured move, weekly fair value gap, the midpoint of that weekly fair value gap. And all of that, both of those are inside of this daily fair value gap right here. So we'll see. We'll see if we get down there. Now, right now, on the 1 hour, we do have a little bit of a bull div, but we need to be careful here because, I mean, on the higher time frames, I'll show you. But we need to be careful. So this, where's this anchored VWAP? I need to move this. This was not, let's go from the high. So this anchored VWAP from the high, you can see have not been able to get above that anchored VWAP a couple of times already. So this could act as resistance if we are to come up to it. Right now it sits at about $99,305. I would imagine 100K would be a psychological level. We do have at 100,819 this anchored VWAP from this low. So we could see price get up to there in this general area where we also have a 50% Fibonacci retracement. So we got to be careful if we get up in this whole zone in here. Be careful because we could see more downside, a rejection from that level. Then the question will be, can these lows hold? Now, we don't quite have equal lows here. Well, but they are relatively equal. And even relatively equal lows do have a tendency to get taken out. So I would just be mindful of that we do have these equal lows here, relatively equal lows, whatever you want to call them, RELs as I call them. That's where stop losses are. Okay, a lot of people see that as support. We got 2 bounces on it, therefore it's support. And then, but the thing is, every time you hit a level, the weaker it becomes because you're just taking out more and more buy orders until eventually there's not enough buy orders. You got to go lower to find more buys. So right now, short-term time frame, this is a 1 hour fair value gap sitting here at about 95,885 on the low end, 96,320 on the upper end. We do have a bunch of little highs up here, and we have some equal highs up here. That's why I have this level marked off here. But I'll also would like to mark this off as well. There we go. So I would look for if it sorry. Oh, whew. Sinuses. Goodness gracious. Start singing SL and profit, SL and profit. Trade intuition raid. What's going on? Where's T.I. Joe? I got raided? What's going on? Trade intuition. Thank you for being here. You guys are all amazing. Where was I? Okay, yeah. So, shout out to T.I. Joe. We do have these equal lows in here on the lower time frames. Because I'm a degen, I was looking at the 1 minute chart. It's not really degen, that's just kind of, it is part of the system. So, the equal lows are everywhere. So we got relatively equal lows, relatively equal lows. So that means we're probably going to come down and take those out at some point. Short-term time frame, we're looking at coming up into this fair value gap, potentially on the 1 hour. Like I said, it's a 1 hour FVG. Let's back that up. So, and we're starting to build up some pretty some fake lows in here. Not very strong. Bless you, LBC. Thank you, Alexander G. What's going on, Joe? Bingo and a bango. Thank you for being here, my friend. And thank you for the raid. What's going on, T.I. Joe watchers? Mad love to you guys. Thank you for being here and joining me this beautiful, beautiful evening. So, yeah. Basically, we got a lot of work to do here with Bitcoin. So, if it can break through this fair value gap, then, you know, we and break above this high, then we can talk about getting up to those anchored VWAPs up there. But right now, it's just kind of like, let's just kind of wait and chill a little bit. Let's see what Monday brings. And yeah, this next week is probably going to be, it shouldn't be too much. I don't think we have too much as far as the economic data goes. Come on. Next. There we go. Any data? Are you guys giving me any data? There we go. Building permits. Oh, look. We have data back, guys. We have a little bit of data back. FOMC minutes coming out on Wednesday. I don't really have too much data this week, though. What's the next week? We get some GDP. We get some core PCE. Okay, so durable goods. Finally, some data. These are all going to be high impact because we haven't had economic data in quite some time. So these might all be pretty high impact. Now, the week of my birthday, December 1st through the 7th, we have all the good stuff. This week is probably going to be a pretty crazy week for us traders. This is probably going to be a pretty volatile week. These next couple of weeks might be a little or you might get a little bit of a setup for this week, but this is the week that we've got to be watching. Because what's going on, David Gelfin? Since we've been in such a blackout on data, I feel like especially these are high impact on the market when there hasn't been a blackout. We had a blackout of data for nearly a month and a half, basically a month and a half. And we're going to get JOLTS jobs opening, ISM services PMI, non-farm payrolls. Non-farm payrolls are always volatile weeks, plus the unemployment rate and the Michigan consumer sentiment. So this is going to be a big week. December 1st through the 7th. It's gonna be a nice one. Bitcoin getting a little bit of a push here right now on the lower time frames. So we'll just keep an eye on this level. Let's go back to the macro chart and zoom it on out, see how we're looking over here. So we did come down to the golden pocket of this range. Let's go ahead and take that off. From the low to the high, pulling the fib from the low to the high, getting the golden pocket pullback. Now, it did not quite come down to the weekly fair value gap nor the daily fair value gap. It doesn't mean it has to go lower, but I would not be surprised if it did. This seems like it could be a fake out before it drifts down lower. Maybe all the way down to the 786. That would be an $85,400 Bitcoin. And then we'll just have to see what happens after that. If it can be a nice wick and come back up, get a nice bullish bounce on the lower time frames, then we can entertain potentially more upside. Or we've got to be careful because our friend, the 52-week SMA, got a weekly close below it. So if we started to push up higher right here, we could see that 52-week SMA kind of move up like that as price moves to the upside. And then we have to be cautious that we have to look for a rejection there. Yeah. Because if we go back to the past, cycle, that's exactly what we did. Once we got a nice big weekly candle close below the 52-week SMA, we did go down a little bit lower over the next few weeks, and then we got to move to the upside, bearishly back tested that 52-week SMA, and then continue to the downside. So that's why we've got to be careful, guys, because I mean, it's kind of setting up, almost looking very similar to this whole move here. Okay, so where we come up, we take out the high. We only do a 3-wave move. 1, 2, 3. Only do a 3-wave move and then come down, break below the 52-week SMA, and then back test it bearishly, and then reject. So let's go ahead and move on back to over here. You can see kind of a 3-way move, not quite a 3-way move, but kind of a 3-way move to the upside. Then break below the 52-week SMA, and then potential dead cat bounce situation, roll over, continue lower. So, is the bear market confirmed? Not quite. However, pause for effect. Where's my Piper? It's showing pretty good signs of weakness. I mean, at the very least, barring some kind of great news, maybe great jobs news somehow, some way. I'm not sure how. I'm not sure what way. Maybe some kind of white swan. We get back above the 52-week SMA. We back test it bullishly, and we get a bounce. Okay. Then we're back on. But right now, we have to be protecting our capital and playing the risk management game. If you haven't already sold for profit and you are in profit, maybe consider taking a little bit out. Now, financial advice, that's totally up to you. Your moves are your own. But who knows? I'd say de-risking, if you haven't already, probably isn't the worst idea. Probably not the worst idea. And we did have bearish divergences here on the higher time frames, even on the monthly chart. But this is the weekly chart, and we can see those momentum waves just pushing to the downside, and the money flow is currently pushing to the downside as well. Now we can get a flip here of that momentum and have the stochastics push up and the VWAP all at the same time, and we could get that bounce off of here, and then continue to the upside. But that's your hopium. Right now, as I said, it's just we act like we're in the bear market. Plain and simple. We just have to. Bitcoin dominance getting a rejection from the 52-week SMA, kind of signaling that maybe perhaps altcoins are taking over. Now, what could happen is during a Bitcoin retracement is when we tend to see a lot of altcoins move. So it may not even be broad market, and we might just have some outliers, and that's just how it's going to be. It is what it is. Maybe the whole market won't bounce. Maybe there's a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff could make some big moves on the lower time frame, but given how low they already are, they could just be like retracements that still end up being, I don't know, a few 100%, but they might still just be retracements. An example would be, let's see if I can find one, maybe like optimism. Like, it could move up to $1, even up to a 52-week SMA or this order block in here. I mean, from current price, you're looking at a potential 155% move. A lot of people see that as a massive move, but it's really not really going anywhere from there. Maybe there's another one from last bull cycle. Let's take a look at Link. Let's back this up. So we can see, let's see if this got a, Leak's probably not the best one. I mean, it hasn't come down to its bear market lows, but let's see. What about Polygon? No, that's not, they migrated, so that's not going to work. H-bar. H-bar? H-bar, H-bar. I can't find a good one. Just because all these cryptocurrencies suck butt. Doge. Maybe Doge can do it. I'm also on perp charts like a dingus. Binance. Hello, everyone. Hey, Jesus Say 77. Thank you for being here. God bless. Lasers go pew, 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 pew. What's going on, lasers? Thank you for being here. All right, let's take a look at Doge. It's broken its parabola, and it's no longer going to the moon. So if you were looking forward to that, I'm sorry, but it's dead. It got ran over by a car. You had to put it in a trash bag and take it down the road out to this field with your stepdad, and you have to dig a hole, and you have to put the Doge in the hole, and then cover it up. Leave a little cross made out of 2 sticks and a little bit of twine. And then you say a prayer, and then you walk away, and that's it. The Doge is done, and it's a little dramatic. That was a little bit of a flashback memory for me. But Zcash is still saying, "F your bear market. We are going to the moon. Eat crap." That's what it's saying. It says. What bear market? Thing is that Zcash and privacy coins tend to run at the end of bull markets. Zcash, is there something with a little bit more history? Look at that. What an absurd chart. This is what we thought all of our altcoins were going to do, right? We didn't have any clue. We didn't think that we didn't think this is what we were going to get. I mean, we thought this is what we were going to get, but we didn't think it was going to be Zcash. Zcash just going ballistic. Still would not short that just yet. Dash trying to get moving. It's broken down this long-term downwards resistance, and it's trying to hold it for support, yeah, it's not doing a great job, is it? Okay, so we do have a little bit of a fair value gap in here, but we got some pretty equal lows right here. Money flow still in the green. VWAP's coming down though. I mean, maybe a little bit more of a pullback, but Zcash or Dash is still looking pretty okay. Not terrible. What if we go back to Zcash and see what it was looking like when it first got going? So same time frame. It had some minor pullbacks on the way up, but just absolutely absurd. Look at this money flow. So thick. It's so thick. Gotta love it. What's going on, Melissa? LBC OG? I thought I saw someone say, hey, Mel. Yeah, there we go. Busy weekend for me as always. Grateful. Thank you. Yeah, pretty busy. My plan requires that if I am to buy any dip, this is the one, Fear 14 Extreme. Now, if you don't follow me on X and you did not catch Piper's morning market report on Friday, I believe, I tweeted out about that fear and greed index. And the thing about that is that last cycle during the bear market, and if we are in the bear market, then but we saw Bitcoin in extreme fear for 11 weeks straight. That doesn't mean, well, here's the thing. Those 11 weeks, let's go to it. Let's just go to it. Last cycle. Got to find a chart that's got a whole lot more on it. Bitstamp. Let's see. Last cycle. Those 11 weeks, I believe, occurred in here. We can fix that, I believe, and turn it into I know by doing this. Crypto fear and greed. Go to the weekly. All right. So there's 11 weeks in extreme fear. We're right here, I believe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And that wasn't even the bottom, but we were coming down at the same time. So, but we stabilized, and then we had, and during this period, we had another 9 straight weeks of extreme fear, and then we got another move to the downside. So, point is, be careful just buying because it's in extreme fear. You want to have other confluences going along with you. Like if you see the extreme fear, look at this. You actually get a bullish divergence on your extreme fear on the weekly chart, and then it pretty much marked the bottom exactly. Actually, if I pull this back right here, boom. So you literally have a bullish divergence on the weekly chart on your sentiment, on the fear and greed index. Sounds 11 weeks. Sounds like a trap song. We can turn it into one. Wasn't it at 10 today? Potentially. But yeah, and it sat down here. I mean, this is at 8. Now, if you were looking long term, yeah, I mean, it was a pretty good time to buy for sure. For sure. So right now, yes, it says it's at 14. It might have been at 10 earlier today. We'll see. But yeah. So just because it's an extreme fear doesn't mean it's always the best time to buy. You want to make sure that there's other stuff kind of supporting that that thought process there. Okay. All right, let's take a look at the Market Oracle Pro Plus, see what Chart Prime is showing us. Where are we at on our weekly dynamic and quantum reactors? We are still above the dynamic reactor on the weekly chart. That's top side of that sitting at about 77,305. And the quantum reactor is all the way down here at $52,000. Now, it is still green. We are still green. It's orange, but that means green on this chart right now, okay? It won't be as confusing next after Thanksgiving because we're going blue and green or red and green for the holiday. So, maybe even do a blue background. I don't know. But these are green, so that's good. I mean, from a weekly standpoint, that's good. We can come down, get a bounce off of that, hopefully, maybe. We'll see. But as long as we're above them, we are still technically bullish. Let's go to the daily chart, and let's take a look. Let's see what the dynamic and quantum reactors look like there. We are below both of them. The quantum is going above the dynamic reactor. Last time that happened was right here, and literally just a few days later, maybe a week later, that marked the bottom. So over here, let's see, we saw the quantum reactor cross the dynamic reactor on the daily chart. And then what was this, a few weeks, a month? It was like almost a month later before we bottom. Yeah, pretty much. July 8th to August 8th. So, give or take a few weeks, maybe. If we are to bottom in here, I also know that I believe we just put in a death cross, or we're very close to putting in a death cross. Those tend to be close to the bottoms, tend to occur close to the bottoms. But like I said, everything is still kind of up in the air and a little iffy right now, especially given the macro environment. But agree, it's just one of many factors I'm considering. Good deal. But yeah, the macro environment is still kind of crap. And right now we're turning previous supports into resistance. But yeah, it's just kind of, it is what it is, guys. It is what it is. We just got to be kind of chill. And as far as our spot bags are concerned, like I said, we're just kind of chilling. Now, this is the first pullback that we've gotten out of these pullbacks in here. So if I go from the low to here, we actually came down to the 0.382. From this low to here, we actually come down to the 50. From these lows, push up, pull back to the 50. Low, high, push up, pull back to the 50, a little below. And now we are breaking down a little bit more. Now, the question is it just running out? Is it just taking a break, or is it over? And I wish I could answer that for you, but I can't. I don't know. I don't know if it's over or not. It sure looks like it's pretty bad. But our money flow on the weekly chart still in the green. Let's go to the daily. Money flows in the red. So that's why I'm saying maybe we have a couple more weeks or so. This looks like maybe we could come up into this daily fair value gap and get a rejection and then continue to the downside. Because if I was to just flip this, you can see it's kind of like a consolidation range that we're building up in here. So a little bit of a consolidation range, a little bit of a flag type deal, bounce around, break out, right? Unfortunately, we invert the chart back. That means we're going lower. So but you know, I've had these levels up here for quite some time now, so it's just kind of like, all right, let's get it done, let's get it out of the way, and we anticipate lower. Let's just get a let's get a bounce. Let's go lower and get a bounce. Let's flip this back because we really want to see a nice big bounce. We don't want any kind of lackadaisical, just not doing much of anything. Not that it would be the worst thing in the world, but it would not really be all that great. We want a quick move to the downside and then a push up. Kind of like a V-shaped recovery. If we are to stay in the bull run. If not, well, it could just go sideways, guys. That's the good news. It could just go sideways. Would be nice if we could get a green dot printed here on the daily chart. The last time we got the snake eyes down here, where these two lows, these two lows over here. But you can see that we still got another downside move, but that did end up creating a bullish divergence. And if you just look at the money flow, you can see it's starting to creep back up here. Then you get the cross. After you get this big push up here, you start to consolidate. And then that was a good time to consider taking, a short-term swing long. It'd be a more of a mid-term swing long. And then money flows nice and green, still green. Coming down hardcore. Should have known. We did, kind of, in a way. Now, I'm still got the megaphone pattern playing out, the A, B, C, D, E. So, it's still following everything. So, we just need we just need a nice little bounce here, another little bounce here. Get that money flow starting to curve back up. And then we're looking at maybe sometime in December we can start getting a reversal and start heading to the upside. But November still looks kind of like meh for now. Bitcoin dominance looking kind of weak. What about CMEs? Let's take a look at the CMEs. Now we still do have this CME gap at about 92,000, 92,825 to 92,000 even. We did not tap it. We came really close to tapping it, but did not quite get there. And still no green dot printed here on the daily chart. Over here on the CME chart either. Ethereum below the 52-week SMA, got the weekly candle close below, has not quite finished up the bear move. Now, if I play the conservative play, it has finished it up. But if Bitcoin is going to continue down, then I imagine Ethereum will probably continue down. Now, unless the alts are a little bit stronger than Bitcoin right now, which is a slight possibility. Then maybe it can kind of hold itself up. Maybe. Get it back. Yeah, I mean, it's doable. It's doable. As long as we're not creating any equal lows in there. We really don't want to create any equal lows because then we'll probably come back for them later if we do. Not a probably. It's nothing is guaranteed, but I want you can go and try and find some equal highs and equal lows that never got taken out ever. And I would probably be surprised. Yep. Speaking of equal highs, still have some up here. Is it time for altcoins? Not right now. I'm still just nope. Total 2 looking bearish as well. Total 2 is your crypto market excluding Bitcoin, so that does include Ethereum. If we exclude Ethereum, still looks pretty weak. Money flow in the red on the daily chart. It's just not looking good. Others, money flow in the red on the daily chart. It's everything outside of the top 10. Let's go ahead and take a look at our S&P 500, see what we're looking like over here. We need these to remain strong as well. our S&Ps, our Nasdaqs, and our Dow Joneses. But we can see the money flow has been steadily coming out here on the S&P 500, putting in those daily bullish divergences. It's just not, that doesn't look good. That doesn't mean it can't go a little bit higher. But we've did I say bullish divergence? Bearish divergences is what I meant to say if I didn't. But yeah, it's real ugly. We have a fair value gap here on the daily chart, so be mindful of that. It might take that all-time high again and then want to continue to the downside here on the daily chart for the S&P 500. Stochastics trying to get a little bit of a reset. They're almost completely bottomed out. If that VWAP can come up, that money flow can stay green, and the stochastics can get a bounce, then maybe we can get a bounce here. Something of the sort. NASDAQ is going to be the same, pretty much. I guess this is what I'm still looking for. Might as well. Still there. Come up, take the highs, equal highs, come into fair value gap, push to the downside. Now, if this did this, and if this did this, and the S&P 500 did this, and put in a higher high, then that would be an SMT divergence between the NASDAQ and the S&P 500. An SMT divergence is when two highly correlated assets, such as the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ, diverge at highs or lows. So that would be a bearish divergence, as NASDAQ would come up short of taking out its high, then the S&P 500 would take out its high, but that would give S&P 500 a higher high, the NASDAQ a lower high, and that would be an SMT divergence. So basically what that is showing is that there's not enough strength in the market to push both indexes up. There was only enough to push up one, which means, broadly speaking, the whole market's the market as a whole is weak, or is getting weak. It's losing momentum. So that's why when you get those divergences between two highly correlated assets, you can get either rejection if it's a bearish divergence, or a bounce if it's a bullish one. So yeah, because in a bullish divergence scenario, you've got one pushing down lower than the other one, creating a lower low, whereas the other one is creating a higher low. Therefore, you're seeing some type of momentum lifting one up over the other. It plays out though. It's kind of crazy. I heard through the grapevine that Trump plans on printing 40 trillion during his term. We're going to be filthy rich if that happens. We're going to be rich in assets, but they ain't going to be worth a damn in dollars. Well, they'll be worth a lot in dollars maybe, but yeah, that's I don't see that happening. But that would be hilarious. We're just going to print our entire debt and pay it off. What do you guys think about that? Then all that we'll owe is interest. So basically what you're trying to do is you're trying to consolidate your debt. You can just consolidate the debt. Consolidate the debt, and now we just have new monthly payments, and they're cheaper. We're gonna use our debt, and it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be beautiful. The most beautiful debt you've ever seen in your life. That's why he wants to get those interest rates down on the Fed, so that he can borrow at a much lower cost. Well, there you go. Hey, I mean, it makes sense to me, right? It makes sense to me. Dow Jones, what are we doing over here? Dow Jones. Dow Jones did put in a higher high last week, put in a new all-time high, and then immediately rejected off of that new all-time high. We'll look down here at about 45,000, 640, 700 or so for potential downside target and bounce, maybe. But then again, if it just does a little bit of a retrace at the same time that the S&P 500 is breaking out to new all-time high, or putting in a, yeah, well, I guess it would be breaking out to a new all-time high, and the NASDAQ and the Dow Jones are both not doing that. Again, that's a bearish divergence between those two indexes. NVIDIA, how are we looking over here? Completed 5-wave structure. Potentially, we do have, I don't really care for this whole move. Yeah. This is just ugly. And we did get a bounce off of this level. I mean, look at that money flow. I mean, just dead. Absolutely dead from here to here. It just dies. Just died. There's just no money, guys. Who has money right now? Who has money right now? This is why we're going to be getting the $2,000 dividend checks. And I do think that we will be getting those tariff checks, and I'll tell you why. I broke it all down. I put my theory out there into the chat GPT, and it was like, actually, yes. And I was like, bet. And then I talked to BC Port Corp about it for an hour yesterday after our Counter This episode with Billy, Crypto Billy. Shout out to Crypto Billy. And because I was just doing some thinking, and I was like, And I came to the conclusion that these $2,000 dividend checks might actually not be the worst idea. And I'll tell you why. If they can do it in some way that is budget neutral, or to where they don't have to borrow from the Fed, then it could be a good idea. If it's money that they've already taken in from the tariffs, then it could be a good idea. And this is why. Because if you just put it to the lower income people, you just give it to people making $100,000 or less a year, $2,000 a person, blah blah blah. I did a bunch of rough math on it. It's 48 million people roughly, and that's about $100 billion. 96, but it's like $100 billion, somewhere in $100 billion ballpark, which actually isn't a lot of money for our government. They could find $100 billion easily. But what would that do if the lower income people got that? So the tariffs are hurting them, the lower income people, well, us, pretty much more than anybody else. So that would give a little bit of an income boost, so people could go and just, at least stay afloat. A lot of people, that would be extra money, so they would go out and spend. But you would just continue to spend. You would see a little bit of a bump in spending, and what that could do is that would drive demand. Driving up demand helps spur growth, which means businesses' margins can stay intact and not collapse from the lack of demand that we are currently experiencing. So people can get a little bit of breathing room. People start to feel a little bit better, and then if you can start to get a little bit of growth going on in the economy, then maybe wages, or maybe you have you keep the unemployment low. That's a very important thing. So those job numbers can still kind of stay a little bit steady. You don't really increase inflation as long as it is not new printed money. Maybe a slight uptick, but that's simply a supply and demand dynamic, because you're increasing demand, which will lower your supply. Therefore, prices, naturally rise. So you kind of, you're playing fast and loose with things, and you're wanting to get a little bit of a, little jump spur, just kind of get a little bit of a kickstart, or maybe it's like a little push on on a skateboard, and you're just trying to keep things kind of afloat right now, right? As the admin does its little trade war, that's what they're trying to do. They kind of just want to keep things afloat. They don't want things to just collapse. But also, midterms. People love money as long as they feel like the government's looking out for them, I guess, or the admin. As long as they feel like they can still make it get by, but they also see stuff coming in that might be beneficial. I mean, that we still have a whole other year until the midterms, so anything can happen. It has only been 1 year of this admin, and they've done a lot. So we'll just have to see what they come up with for the next year. It could be a little crazy. It could be a little crazy, but we'll see. Then if you start getting Fed rate cuts and you can start to spur a little bit more growth in the economy, but that would also increase borrowing, but that'll be on the business end. People could borrow more, not necessarily just the business end. If your individuals could borrow more too, but that could also help spur growth. So right now it's a bit of a rough patch, and we're just treading water right now. That's what we're doing. We're just treading water, trying to keep our head above, trying to keep getting oxygen in. And as long as we do that and we can just stay steady and not just completely panic and freak out, I think maybe, just maybe, this whole idea might play out. This whole idea from Scott Bessent and this admin, it could potentially actually play out. It's very risky though. And, but hey, you know what? This is America. This is, we used to be proud of ourselves for taking risk. And, yeah, maybe it's not the risk that we wanted to take, but hey, when you're in a tough spot and you're $38 trillion in debt, it's kind of just like, all right, let's throw a Hail Mary and see what happens. So, or it's kind of like, maybe it's just what we got to do. Maybe. I don't know. I don't have the answer to that. Look, well, the answer will come with the outcome. We'll see what the outcome is. We have some time. We just got to do everything we can to try and stay financially alive. That's pretty much it. So, yeah. So we have these relatively equal lows here on the Dixie. So we are coming up to that 52-week SMA here on the Dixie. So maybe we can get a rejection there, and we'll see what it does from there. I don't really know, to be quite honest. The Dixie, the thing about the Dixie is that it's going up against other fiat currencies, and if other fiat currencies suck, then this is going to go to the upside. Now, if we go to our TLT, which is like your 10-year or 20-year treasury bonds, rather, you can see the value of the dollar's just gone straight down for quite some time now. However, we do have relatively equal highs, relatively equal highs, relatively equal highs. 50% retracement. Do we get that? Maybe. We'll see. Money flows. It's kind of just hanging out at the zero line, but you can see it did come out and started to come back up. So we'll see if the TLT, the 20-year treasury bonds, can get a push. Now, what would cause this? Some borrowing would cause this from the U.S. government, or from insolvent banks. That's what we don't want to see happen. Show me the chart and I'll tell you the news. The banks are going to fail, and we're going to have to inject liquidity. We'll see. We'll see. All right. Anything else? USDT dominance. I don't think I went over this one yet. So USDT dominance. Now we do have the relatively equal lows here on the USDT dominance. We've got this downwards sloping resistance here that it is butting up against right now. It's broken it a little bit, so trying to get above it and turn that into support. Money flow is trying to flip green here on the weekly chart. This could, I mean, I think this is probably going to continue to push higher for now, which means our assets will go lower because that's just how it works. Maybe even come up here to the apex of this triangle right at the 7.982% level. Pretty much just this general level up here is one to watch. So if we just come up there and we reject, then we should see a nice, at least a decent bounce in our risk on assets. Now we do have some relatively equal highs up here, so that's going to be something to watch. It might be that we come up here, we sweep those relatively equal highs, and then, I mean, I don't know if it would take that long. But you're looking at December 2025 here, and then maybe you can start to get a push, and 2026 is just generally bullish because right here is late December 28th, 2026. So if if this is what we get here on the USDT dominance and we come back in within the range here, we have all these lows down here that would love to get taken out. And what does that mean? This is super bullish. So we could have a bullish 2026 for our risk on assets. So what does that mean? That could mean either we printed a lot of money or we're actually seeing a lot of growth. But this move up here means we're going to be down for a little while. Maybe a couple months, 2 or 3 months. Maybe we turn things around in Q1. We'll see. But as you guys know, we take it day by day, and we just see what we do or what the market does, and just play it day by day. Thank you guys for joining me this evening. I do greatly appreciate each and every single last one of you for joining me. Man, I feel like I splurged out there for a second. Was going a little crazy. Had to go over a lot of stuff, but as you can see, it is all fairly bearish at the moment. We are seeing a little bit of pushes here in the markets, but not a whole lot of strength at the moment. So just name of the game is being patient. So let's do that. Let's be patient and let's wait for Bitcoin to prove itself. Now, I did give you guys some upside levels to look at for resistance, about between 99 and, we'll call it 99 and 101. Okay. 99 and 101, we got to look for potential rejection there. Psychological level, 100K. Yeah, that's going to be the one. That's going to be the one. $100,000. Can we get back above it? Or we're going to reject it if we get to it. We'll find out next time right here on Lunar Beaches Crypto, where we ride the waves of the crypto market all the way to the moon. I will see you guys and gals tomorrow. Let me know if you want some stickers. We will be doing a giveaway. Let's see. Should we wait for Thanksgiving? Should we wait for Thanksgiving to do a giveaway? Should we do a giveaway right now? 2 stickers. 2 LBC stickers. I didn't plan for it, so I don't know what to do right now. So we're not going to do it right now. Maybe we'll do it tomorrow night. We'll get it figured out. But anyways, let's see. I'm going to do I don't know. I don't know which song I want to do. I don't know which song. Anybody? I'll just do the one. Let's see. Light There we go. All right. Put on for LBC. Thank you all for joining me. I do appreciate each and every single last one of you. If you wouldn't mind hitting that like button and subscribing to the channel if you are new, and hit that notification bell to be notified whenever I create new content and when I go live. See you all tomorrow. Hope you have an amazing, beautiful, wonderful, radical sleep. And I will catch you all then. My love. God bless. Peace. Out. Bye.
I put on for LBC. I put on for LBC. Yeah, I put on for LBC. On for LBC. I put on for LBC. On for LBC. Wave riders in the building, yeah, they riding with me. Moon guys on my chain, ain't no breaking the team. Started with a vision, now we running the game. Charts glow, purple teal, yeah, you know the name. From the beach to the block, we controlling the tide. Every candle that we light, that's the wave we ride. I've been grinding through the night, while the city don't sleep. Putting LBC on maps, taking wins, stacking deep. From the charts to the streets, got the fam in the mix. Every move calculated, yeah, we playing with steel. I put on for LBC, on for LBC. I put on for LBC, on for LBC. Wave riders in the building, yeah, they riding with me. Moon guys on my chain, ain't no breaking the team. Crypto hustle late nights, yeah, we stay in the zone. Stacking knowledge, stacking bags, turning charts into gold. Market makers throw shade, but we glow through the rain. Every dip just a test, every loss turns to gain. Got the fam worldwide, but the roots run deep. From the med, I was grind to the LBC streets. This for every wave rider who believed in the dream. We gon' put it on the map, keep it real, reign supreme. Reign supreme, reign supreme, reign supreme. I put on for LBC, on for LBC. I put